Hi everybody, how's it going? Um, See we have a few people online already. Thank you for being here. Um, Let me just fix something here. Um, I don't necessarily want these effects on my voice. That's better. Excellent. So welcome everybody. Jason here, back again to play music for you. So there'll be two sessions today. The 2 o'clock session, which is going to be relaxation music, and the 3 o'clock session, which is going to be um, songs and chat and that kind of thing. Hi, Glenn. How's it going? Not a great day. I hope you're referring to the weather. Let me know what you think. Hi, Terry. Hi, Kate. Hi, Kira. Hi, Grania. How's it going? Can I ask a little bit of... Oh, good, Glenn. Okay, thank you. It was nice enough this morning. I got a little sit out with my cup of coffee. So that's... But okay, it's taken a turn as it I've been inside for the last little while. This may seem like a weird question. I'm trying a new thing with subtitles on the videos. I tried something yesterday and it didn't seem to work. And I'm trying a different way of doing it today, which I'm not sure if it works. So you can tell me if the... Oh no, it's gonna rain. Okay, so Glenn, yeah. So if you see subtitles, let me know. And if you don't, I'll work on something else. There's someone who needs to be able to read along. Anyway, let's start with some music, will we? Okay. I can already tell from my own little bit of investigation here, there won't be any subtitles for this video. But anyway, I'll work it out. Yeah, Glenn, you're on the right page there. Hi Orna, how's it going? Jess is watching as well, so hi Jess. So Granya's hoping that Dara does plenty of dancing today. Yeah, I'd put money on that. But we'll see what happens. Okay. Glenn says hi, Jess. Very good. Okay. So Dara's bird watching. Yeah, we have turtle doves in our garden. It's quite pleasant seeing them. Okay. So I have been doing some homework on the internet and found a few new loops. These are very authentic. These are proper drum loops. These are jazz loops on different kits. So let's try them out. Let's see. This is called Moon Kit. It's supposed to be very mellow. Quite jazzy. Jess, Grania says she misses you. She was just telling Dara she can't wait to be on the bus again all together. They always stop a bit abruptly. Let me change one thing on them here so it doesn't do that. There we go. Yeah, no thanks. Can I? No, it's definitely not working. It's definitely I'm gonna have to try something else for the next one. But I know you'll keep an eye on it for me. Hi Brenda. Hi Sienna. Hi Stephen. Did you hear my little quote of the birdie song there, Sean? I'll take inspiration wherever I can get it. Very good. Nice art or baking at home? Yeah, that's a great question. Did get some croissants in a can when I was shopping last night. Just the essentials, you know what I mean? Okay, yeah, and Brenda, you're right. Another week done. So Monday will be our 1 month anniversary of these sessions. Usually I'd meet any group I work with once a week. Technically we've met 4, 5, 20 times, so that's 40 sessions. That's about a year's work with most groups I work with. So there we go. That's an interesting stat. Well, nice work on the cookies, Kate. Any particular style you're going for? Hi, Mary Rose. How's it going? Nice to have you here. Okay, we'll keep the chat going. I'm just here to play, and check in every once in a while. I'll do another one without. You know what? It's Friday. Let's keep going with the loops. I'm liking these jazz kits. So this is one called the Ludwig Shuffle. I have no idea why. Ludwig kit, I presume. So it's nice and laid back. I'll try out some jazz chords. Okay, so we've hit on our theme, have we, for today? It's all birds. Um, yeah, definite kind of those jazz chords are very George Benson kind of thing. I had to listen to a lot of smooth jazz on my J1 in San Francisco. I worked in a shoe shop listening to KKSF smooth jazz all day, every day, same 45-minute playlist. So it's obviously worked its way in. Oh, very good. Robins, yeah, robins are breeding, aren't they? My mum was saying she's got a pair in her garden too. Um, that's lovely. Um, yeah, hi again, Mary Rose. Okay, and also a lot of biscuit and baking talk too. Um, yeah, we had a baking incident here with a cake that didn't cook right, and I still ate the whole thing. Um, even bad cake is. And Jess is just making fun of me here. Um, Jess, no, I haven't even cooked those croissants yet. That might be a nice breakfast thing, actually. Um, okay. I'm glad everyone's keeping busy and has plenty to. Yeah, the wildlife, great. Um, shall we carry on? Let's do a non-loopy one. if that can be said of anything I do. And Grania, yeah, I hope all the nice things make up for the physio. Um, or the other way around. I hope the physio helps you do all the nice things better. What, how does that work? You can tell me. Um, Stephen has Stephen's dad has a camera in the robin's nest. Um, so there's a chance you'll catch them hatching. That would be fantastic. You'd have to share that with us. That would be very special. Okay. So birds and biscuits. Let's see how that influences the music, huh? Okay. I need to make some notes here, so when we do some bird songs. This is okay. I need to. Yeah, that's my important note paper. I'm having trouble thinking of a bird song off the top of my head other than "Hey, Mr. Tambourine Man." Surely I can remember more than that. But "Hey, Mr. Tambourine Man" is a lovely. I think there's a term for it, sunshine pop. That kind of 60s pop music that made everyone think of California, the Mamas and the Papas and things like that. So yeah, that's a good call. Okay. How are we doing for time? We have another little bit left before the switch over. And I'm frantically Googling birds chords. Let's do another one with these kits. Let's see what you think. Just seeing if yeah. Jess was disgusted by the croissants in a can thing. Yeah, I know it's not real baking, is it? Someone rang you by mistake there, Glenn, is it? That's always nice. You can catch up. Okay, this one's a bit more lively. Now, I'm sorry the rain has come. It might be here too. I can't tell from where I am. Um, but yes, I'll do my best to compensate with sunny music. Um, is it down for the weekend? Typical. And Glenn, yeah, I did hear about Brian Dennehy passing away. My fiance was disgusted that I had never seen First Blood, the Rambo movie that he was in. But I remember liking him a lot, so I must have seen him in lots of things. I remember him from Romeo and Juliet as well. He was very good in that. But yeah, Cocoon was another movie he was famous for. Okay. I've just realized something here as well. Your comments come up quicker on the YouTube channel than they do on my streaming software here. So hopefully I can react a bit quicker to things like that. And we don't have as much weird delay stuff. Okay. Yeah, I agree, Brenda. Stephen, that's such a great project. Can I ask, have you done that before? Have you videoed wildlife in your garden before? Because yeah, now I'm all I want to do now is go search my garden for robin's nests. What a that would be a bad idea for me. Okay, but there we go. So it's nearly time to wrap up. I think I'll do one more piece. I'll use that last loop that I have waiting here, and we'll switch over for the song session at 3. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. I hope you liked what you heard, and we've got a nice. We'll start with something by the Byrds. Yeah, talented group of people, photographers, bakers, artists, musicians, singers. Yeah, never. I've never seen. I think I've seen one Rambo movie, which is one of the more recent ones, and it wasn't my thing. Seen a good few of the Rockies though. Yeah, I'm gonna have to find a bird song to start off the next session with. That's nice continuity. I like that. Okay, one more piece and then we'll sign off. What do you think? Very heavy bass drums on these drum kits. Okay. So, Red Red Robin. Yeah. God. Okay, let me make a note of that because I will have to have a sneaky listen to that during the break. When the red, red robin goes bob, bob, bobbing along. Isn't that it? I think that might be all I know. Thank you, Sean. Glad you liked it. It did kind of click today. This is the thing about improvisation. It is in the moment. And sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. But yeah, I'm glad you liked it today. So let's wrap up for there. Thanks for listening, everybody. Thanks to everybody on the live chat. Thanks to everybody at home watching along. And okay, well that's good enough for me. That's I am gonna have to work out how the rest of that song goes. Okay, and Jess, I got your message there, so we'll put that on the list as well. Okay. Jess has picked a good sing along one. Okay, so I'll start switching over for the song session. I will see you at 3, hopefully. Whoever can make it. Hi, Richard. Sorry, I saw you sign in there as well. Yeah, and we'll carry on. We'll try and keep this bird theme going. It's nice to have a theme to kind of orient us and get us all thinking on the same track. Okay. So go have a cup of tea or something like that. And I'll see you all again at 3. Yeah. Bye, guys.